Hi there. It's been a while since I did a video. I've not treated this channel well. I do have another channel coming to discuss dark enlightenment and tech feudalism and the related things. But that will be probably weeks yet. I've got a lot of the clips together and so forth, but I still teach. I have, even though it's only part-time these days, I have other projects. Retirement has not suddenly made me have more time. I know it does for a lot of people, but for me, if anything, it took time away. But as for this video, I am making a video I never expected to have to make, ever. But here we are. I've always been something of a conspiracy theorist. For example, I was sure that something like MK Ultra existed, and I was young then, years before, a couple of years before it was proven beyond doubt. I was sure that they were lying about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq before we invaded. I was sure these are conspiracy theories that just happen to prove true. There are quite a few of them over the years that I've believed in. But there have been some I haven't. We all understand what projection is and how projection works. That someone doing a thing projects it outward onto others. They're doing it, but they say, oh, look at what they're doing over there. And that's true with everything from people who accuse their partner or spouse of cheating on them when they're the one doing the cheating, to political things where one party, we all know which one, accuses the other one of cheating in elections when all the evidence suggests that they're the ones cheating in elections. That's projection. I never expected to have to say what I'm about to say now, but I will explain why after I say it. I'm apologizing to QAnon. I thought they were nuts. Instead, I find that I guess they were misdirected. Them insisting that Democratic elites were killing and eating children, I knew that was crap. I've been involved in Democratic politics for years. No Democratic people were. But I assumed no elites were killing and eating children. I have assumed that for years. I never made fun of QAnon people because I think their beliefs are honestly held, but it was ridiculous, I thought. Now, as more and more stuff comes out in the Epstein files, and they said they'd given us 3 million and there were 3 million more, but insiders are telling the media that there are more than 3 million more documents. But even in the ones we've seen, there are some oddities. And when you combine it with some other known oddities, like the Mexican model or supermodel who in 2009 left a party of elites in hysterics, screaming, crying, and saying they were eating children, calling for the police. Well, the police came. I believe this was in Monterrey, Mexico. But they took her away. They said, oh, she suffered a psychotic break. We'll get her help. They took her away. She was never seen again. And when people started looking for her recently, they couldn't find her. So I knew that had happened. I think her last name was I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm sorry. Jimenez. But I accepted that she'd had a psychotic break at the time. Things coming out of the documents in the Epstein files. Food is used a lot as a stand-in for victims. But more than that, the beef jerky thing. Elites from all over the world, and quite honestly, and this is God's honest truth, check if you don't believe me, the vast majority of them on the right, the global right, the American right, etc. Almost all of them, in fact. Probably the balance gets even worse if we ever got the other documents they're refusing to release. Writing to Epstein and saying they need 3 bags of jerky, pictures of him, which have now been removed, eating jerky. But what jerky? People referring to a child as, I think it was cream cheese or something like that. Let's be honest. A billionaire who wants beef jerky has beef jerky. If they want a particular brand that's over here and not in their country, guess what? They send someone, a courier, to bring it to them. They don't have to write a billionaire with a sex island to ask for it. We all know that. So, and a few other things. They've found trapdoors in the island that lead directly into the water under the island. They have found that he had hundreds and hundreds of gallons of sulfuric acid. We all know what that's used for. It disturbs me, it upsets me, but as an honest person, I have to say that the accusation of Democrats doing this may have been, one more time, at least from the leaders of QAnon who are manipulating the followers, projection. Trump, when he says that releasing all the files would hurt his friends, to be clear, I do not believe that Donald Trump engaged in cannibalism. I don't. I had respect for the man at one time, a great deal of respect for the man at one time. And I do not truly believe that he is in his right mind anymore. I think he is in the grip of the beginnings or even the middle stages of dementia. But I do not believe that he ever engaged in eating human beings. I do not believe that he would have engaged in it. But I'm also not sure that if his friends were engaging in it, that he would have turned them in. We know torture took place. The sheikh in Abu Dhabi lost his position because he was engaged in that. We know, or are moderately sure, that there may have been the disposal, let's put it that way, the disposal of fetuses and possibly even of infants. We know that Epstein had his hand in everything. I remain amazed. He is one of the reasons for microtransactions in video games. He was a big mover of crypto. He has been or was involved in political things all over the world. And I truly believe that he believed himself to be completely invulnerable and incapable of being caught under any circumstances. It appears that Ghislaine Maxwell may have allegedly applied electroshock to children. It goes on and on and on. And this is something I've heard of for a certain type of elites. We didn't have much money left. But I was raised in an old family. I have no concept. But on the other hand, When I was little, I was told by members of my family that sometimes we had children born to the family line that were genetically, insane from birth, and that they didn't live long. Now, did that mean they didn't live long, or did it mean that... What did it mean? I don't know. But if it doesn't compare to this, because we always took seriously, when we were wealthier, back before the Depression and during the Depression, we took seriously caring for the people around us, always. It's a value I learned before I was 10. And I've tried to follow it because I really think it matters. But this, it makes me feel funny to even mention that it's a possibility. But I've heard a couple of fairly serious people that I happen to know grudgingly admit it may be a possibility, that possibly this cadre of billionaires were engaging in everything up to and including cannibalism. And obviously disposing of the remains in sulfuric acid, or under the island, where they would be taken away by the fish, or both. I didn't want to think this could be projection because the idea is obscene. But maybe what is in some ways as disturbing, if not more disturbing, is that people who were all about solutions to this when they believed it was all Democrats, I don't care who it was. If people were eating children, that's completely inexcusable. And they need to be flushed out, no matter who they are. It has been a very sobering encounter. I've been looking at some facts. I looked up the model in Mexico to have the memory refreshed. And as I said, I've listened to a couple people who I have respect for say that they thought it might be. And at least one of them also said, but these men are so powerful that we can't afford to get rid of them because the society might collapse. Society will not collapse unless that is people's desire. There is no reason that members of both parties cannot simply say, okay, these billionaires were consuming children. They're going to prison for the rest of their life. All of their wealth and holdings are forfeit. And I know that I can hear the screaming now. If late-stage capitalism has produced, and I'm not yet willing to say it has, but I'm willing to say it may have. If it has, in fact, produced, and it ends up being proven that it's produced, people who eat children, and I don't care what party they're from, although it really looks like it's not my party, then there's a problem with late-stage capitalism, and we need to look to Europe for answers, and we need to apply them. I firmly believe in a free market, but I believe in regulation. I do not believe in monopoly, and I do not believe in billionaires being allowed to eat children. Thank you.